Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of Omnifactory. My name is ZDSauce, and we are in our overworld, our very laggy overworld over here. And if you noticed, our polyvinyl and polyethylene sheets, those machines are running again. I decided what I wanted to do was just hook it into our AE system. So this was nothing special, so I did most of this off camera. But what I did, so when we were stationed here in our base, we had fluid import buses. So it would take fluids in here and just and put them into our AE system. But to get around that, what I did is I actually made an ender tank. And I'm kind of treating this very similarly to our item ender tanks that we are, or our item ender chests that we're using to import resources. So this is just kind of like a way for liquids to get in and out of our AE system over in our void world. So right now, this is drawing all the hydrochloric acid out. But yeah, it's basically just inserting on cyan, and I set up filters for hydrogen and hydrochloric acid. So that is taking out of here. This is, I know this is from a while ago, but this is making hydrogen and oxygen just from water, because we need the oxygen to make the sheets. And this is making polyethylene, and then with the byproduct of hydrochloric acid. So it's basically going to take those two byproducts, which is hydrogen and hydrochloric acid, and it's going to take this ender tank, and then I set up another ender tank just connected into our actual AE system over on the void world. So what we're seeing is just the initial overflow that we had. So we had like 64 buckets of hydrochloric acid here and 64 buckets of hydrogen here. So it's getting through that now, but yeah, we can already see it's decreasing a bit. So it should be good. I'm not going to worry too much about like auto importing salt for the chlorine and sulfur for the sulfuric acid, especially sulfur. We have plenty of that, just because we have plenty of vinyl chloride. That's going to make so many sheets there, and then a decent amount of chlorine as well. So I think we're probably going to run out of chlorine first, but not that big of a deal for me. I just wanted to make sure that we had it up and running so that it'd be easy enough just to flip the switch back on if we want. So it's like, if we really need more, we can just bring over a bit more salt, but this is fine for what I can see. But yeah, so then we have our actual fluid solidifiers that are making the sheets. We just got a stack of polyvinyl, and, oh, whoops, that's over here. And then we have a stack of our polyethylene as well. And they're both extracting on green, and they're connected into our, if we look at just our item conduits. It sucks that the item conduits and fluid conduits look so alike. Whoops, that's not it. So they're just connecting into our big mess of wires over here. So the last step of what I need to do is just add them to the actual loaded item filters. And this should, I already set up some crates as well, or not crates, but drawers. And these should get imported until we get about 2,000 or so sheets, always on stock. So yeah, I just figured I might as well hook it up. It can't really hurt, you know? And 64, if we look in here, we are importing those sheets, and then yeah, they are pulling out on the void world and putting them into our drawer system. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I just wanted to start off with that, and this is also doing very well. It's working exactly as how I intended, so happy to see that. We do have a full stack of everything, I'm pretty sure, except, is it still working on dark steel? That's regular steel. Yeah, we're still working towards dark steel a little bit. I think just because that's such a slow alloy smelter recipe, it takes a bit of time to do. But yeah, that should do it. We're going back up in what's this called? Pulsating polymer clay. So that's looking good. Make sure we were getting a power glitch for a while over here, but looks like that is running well. Cool. Everything's looking good. So let's head back over to our void world. I made a few changes in here as well. I was just cleaning things up a bit, and I really like how it looks. Yeah, we just threw all of our AE stuff down here initially, but I decided to actually make it look somewhat nice. I'm going to make another ME drive soon, so I'm going to have one on each side. Maybe I'll split it up with like items and liquids. We'll see. But I think that'll look pretty nice and symmetrical. And then I did a bunch of wiring underneath the floors. So we have ME wiring come over here. And I'm thinking we'll probably set up some inscriber automation somewhat soon along this wall, as well as we could probably do the crystal growth chamber automation. And then I also wired over here for our ME interfaces, and we are out of space in this one. We're going to need to make a bunch more of these. Just the making the patterns and everything and making all the interfaces is something I can do in between episodes, just because that's boring stuff that we have seen a lot already. Move the power supply back here. Something I realized is that this doesn't have to be a 2x2. As long as it's 4 of these endervars, it will act as an infinite water source. So like to see that. And then, yeah, this is where I set up the ender tank, just to plug it into our actual fluid storage. So now we're seeing hydrochloric acid go up, and then we have a bunch of hydrogen. I also learned that 1 byte of digital storage is equal to 8 buckets of fluid. So this 1K storage can hold 8,000 buckets of fluid in total. Oh, whoops, sorry, this one. But only 5 types. So we're getting there. Yeah, I think that's everything. These are getting nice and stocked up. Yeah, we're really close on dark steel, so that's good. And yeah, here are where I added the polyethylene sheets. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did between episodes. I've also been, I guess I already finished that. I've been processing a bit of things. Let me take you over to my blast furnace. For the past few episodes, really, I have been making a bunch of stuff, and this is really prepping us very well for the HV stage of the game, which is what I want to get into today. So I can take all this stuff out. The stainless steel especially just takes a very long time to get through, to actually process. So I'm glad I have been having that run. You can see how slowly this crawls up. So, but I'm almost gotten through all the stainless steel dust that I made. But yeah, we're looking really good on resources. And then obviously all the normal ingots that don't take a blast furnace, we have all that automated over there. So yeah, we are looking good. I'm happy with it. I can put some of this junk away. And yeah, let's take a look at the quest book, something that we've been trying to get to for a while. HV machine holes, I guess that's where we're going to start off, because this will actually unlock all of the different HV quests we have. And it'll also give us 100 Omni pennies, which is nice to see. So stainless steel plates, how many of those do I have? Okay, I can craft them. Since I have so much stainless steel, I'm just going to craft a bunch. Can't hurt to get that going. And then I can also make a pattern for an HV machine casing, because we have the assembler set up on that right configuration to make machine casings pretty easy. So let's do that. Except without the program circuit, because that's already in there. And then that will go into this one with all the other machine casings. I'm assuming once we finish this pack, we'll probably just still be using this same assembling machine, but just have it filled with all the different kinds of machine casings. Yeah. And then to make an actual machine hole, or I guess we'll need to make the machine casing first. And then we need, what was it, polyethylene. And what are the types of wires? Gold cables, okay. Ooh, which we actually need to use an assembler for. Okay, that's something I'm probably going to have to do, is also include rubber in our like assembling machine lineup with the fluid extractors and everything. I have some loose plans to improve our automation a bit, so I will hold off for a second on doing that. But that's definitely a recipe that we'll want to get to. For now, I can just make these 9 gold cables easily enough. So let me just fluid extract this over here. And what was it? To make the single ones, it's 24. And I think I have yes, I do have a program circuit already in here. So we'll set that to 24, throw this in here. And then if we grab our fluid, I'm assuming that should work. Nice. And yeah, this isn't much, but like I said, I'll work on automating that relatively soon. I have a really cool idea for how I want to improve how quickly things get like compressed or wire milled and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll probably be revisiting that space pretty soon and improving our automation there. So TBD. But yeah, so far really liking how things are going. I feel like every time in between episodes, I'm improving the organization a little bit, making things look a bit neater. So it's a work in progress. It takes some time, but it's good. Cool. We got our gold cables. So now if I want to make an HV machine hole, I believe I should have everything. Nice. And that should give us 100 pennies. And I wonder what the first quest it's going to have us make is. This is for HV power storage. Do I need to do that? Because we've always kind of gotten away without doing that. Nothing seems super blocked on it, so I think that's all right. Cool. Yeah. So let's just go into it. So I guess small coils, palladium, early rutile. These are all things that we're probably going to want to get into. So let's look at small coils. I think these are all of like a lot of the subcomponents for some of the more complex circuits and things like that. So this is easy enough to make normally. I guess we could have made this without the HV machine hole, but yeah, let's make this. So a steel bolt is pretty easy to make. Can't we use okay, I guess rods in a cutting saw is probably the most efficient way to do that. Yeah, steel rods. Do I have that recipe? I can make it. Let's say this one into a lathe. Figure we might as well. And get some of those cooking. I can put away my coins here. And then we also needed, what, fine copper wire, which we seem to be pretty good on. I don't think we really need much more than what we have right now. So I'll take some of these steel rods and putting it into our cutting machine. I had set up some stuff. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was processing tetrahedrite because I wanted to get more antimony so that we didn't have any issues with the soldering alloy, because that's what it's used for there. Cool. Got a good amount of steel bolts. Can throw this stuff in here. Cable anchor. Interesting. And now I will make some of this fine copper wire. And is there a better way to make these coils? Making it inside an assembler is much, much cheaper than by hand. Well, maybe I should have looked at that. Why didn't I do that? Don't yell at me, please. Well, I might as well throw into the assembler now, right? That was dumb. I guess it doesn't really matter where we put it. I'll just throw it in here. And make sure those are even. So we should get a bunch from that. Okay. So small coils, I wonder what they're going to be used for. It's been a while since I've done this quest book thing. I need to get used to this. First tier 4 circuit. All right, that's pretty exciting. I'm cool with that. So I'm assuming this is what's going to be used to make our actual HV assembler. It's going to be too many crafting recipes. But wow, this takes a whole lot of stuff. But it's all stuff that we pretty much have. So to make our HV, are we going to need 2 of these in total? Is that what these are? Tier 4. Okay, yeah, we are going to need 2 of these in total. So that means I'm going to need 4 of these refined processor arrays that we have. I'd like to see we have all the stuff for that. Also, how many coils did we... Ooh, that's a nice amount of coils. Sweet. What else do we need? We have all the diodes. I think we have a good amount of RAM. And then stainless steel... Do we have RAM? Yeah. And then the last thing is, what was it? Stainless steel frames. And that can be also made in an assembler, but it's not that much cheaper. So I'll just make a good amount of these stainless steel plates and rods. Do I have... I think I make a recipe for stainless steel rods. Nice. Make a bit of these. I still have a good amount of plates that I made at the beginning of the episode. And then what was it called? Stainless steel frame. Cool. And then it will just be a wrench. And it looks like we're still missing a rod. And yeah, we are going to need 8 in total. So, and then we needed what? I think some of all the different components, right? Looks like we are low on... Oh, man. Struggling a bit. I don't think I've made a recipe for this yet. But the automation upgrades I'm talking about, I'm going to have many more interfaces per per different machine as well. So we will feel a lot less bad about throwing in a bunch of recipes into interfaces. Okay, so I think we got all that stuff. What was I doing? Making a bunch more transistors. Cool. Okay. I should have bookmarked that, shouldn't I have? Mainframe. Tier 4. Okay, so vibrant alloy wires. We're gonna need 8 of them. Wait, we're gonna need 16 in total, actually. And we have stuff cooking as well. No CPUs available. I'll be right back. All right, I actually had a bit of an issue there. So something was stuck, and I realized that I had these, how this works is we're taking in the soldering alloy and the polyethylene sheets and putting them in here. And I basically made, or we're putting them into fluid extractor. But these inserts have blacklists for those specific things. And I put the inserts into the fluid extractor just on the same thing, but with a lower priority, but I never set up the item filters. So because some things got backlogged, even though this does have a lower priority, it still got inserted into the actual fluid extractor. So now with the whitelists, we shouldn't see anything in the fluid extractor that shouldn't be there. So yeah, there was just like 8 stainless steel sheets sitting in here, and that's how things kind of got a bit messed up. But the crafting should all be good now. So yeah, so we're gonna need a bunch of the different SMD components, some RAM, the processor arrays we just made, and the stainless steel plates that we just made. So we should be able to grab all that now. Processors, vibrant alloy cables, probably forgetting something, right? RAM. And then what do we need? A couple soldering alloy thingies, which we're actually running pretty low on. Cool, get 2 of those. And if I put the soldering alloy into here, and then that should get piped into here, right? And now let's throw everything in here, and we will hopefully make our first mainframe. Yay, we have everything! Ooh, wow, that's a slow craft. I guess it's a really complex computer part. It's so realistic. My immersion is just totally there. Cool. But yeah, I'm assuming this is going to allow us to make the actual, the HV assembler, which is always a great benchmark to get to, is the next tier of assembler, because that opens up better circuits, cheaper circuits, stuff like that. And this is also going to get us to our vacuum freezer. How exciting. So do we have our mainframes? We have one of them. That's so exciting. Nice. Cool. Let's grab our omnicorders. Cool. Okay, this is great. This is actually getting into the micro miners very slowly. I don't know how much I've really talked about micro miners yet. But I think once we get the vacuum freezer and stuff like this, we should be able to get... Actually, no, this is air distillation. That might be somewhere else. I might be missing it somewhere. But the micro miners are... You need modularium or something like that. Yeah, this ingot, which I guess we can make it now. We just need to get deuterium, which comes from the moon. We have a bit of a ways to get there, but that will make us get resources for free, and then I'll pretty much never have to mine again once I set up a couple different versions of the micro miners, but that is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I think what we should do now is try to make this HV assembler. Definitely a complex build, but yeah, we're gonna need to make robot arms, conveyor modules. We have some gold cables, and we have the machine holes. So yeah, let's get to that. So we need to get some of the HV machine parts. So something like a motor, for example, that is what we're going to need a lot of. So copper wires, do we have many of that? Does not look like it. So I can get a bunch of that crafting up. This is used. Give me the HV assembler, please. And just make sure that's bookmarked. So yeah, we're gonna need a couple motors. Looks like these conveyor belts are made the same way as the different tiers. And then the robot arms are just, you can see it's really similar, it just uses the different type of material. We do need a tier 3 circuit for the robot arm though. So we're gonna need 2 more processors. or processor arrays. And when we're missing RAM, did I make a bunch of RAM, or was I making? I was making CPUs. With my blast furnace work, I also made a ton of wafers. So RAM is with the diamond lens. So grab that. Another thing I want to automate. There are so many things to automate. I feel like I've spent the last 5 episodes just automating things, and I'm like, all right, I should really get back to progression, but everywhere I look, it's just like more things to automate. It never ends. So cool. We'll have to get some RAM from that. And the wafers. Okay, the wafers also have to go into the cutting saw, but that's probably going to take a bit longer. Let me wait a second to get some more RAM and prep everything we need to get to this machine. Okay, I think we are looking ready to make some HV components. Let's make a bunch more gold cables, because we got a half stack and then another half stack on the way. That's because they're pretty frequently used for electric motors. I also made a decent amount of these 4x copper wires, so cool. We got 8. That should be good for now, maybe. I know we need to make 2 of these into pistons. So I mean, rods, plates, gold cables, and then the stainless steel is just a plate combined with a hammer, which is pretty easy until we actually automate that. Another thing added to the list. So we got 2 pistons, and that should get us the 2 robot arms. I think we're actually going to need more motors, and that we already made up these electronic processor arrays. I think that's, or maybe we didn't. Oh, wasn't I missing something? Oh, I was missing the RAM. Okay, so that's cooking up now. So while we're waiting for that, I think we are going to need to make more more motors. So let me just make a ton more. That should be a decent amount, right? It's crazy how much copper you go through. Good thing we have a ton. Gotta love deep mob learning. Get me more. What was that? Magnetic steel rods. I can throw that into the polarizer. That's a pretty quick little thing. That'll do for now. Cool. Okay, we have a bunch of electric motors now. So I made the 2 pistons, so we want to make a couple of these conveyor modules. What were we missing there? And then it was the robot arms, which are those processor arrays done? 1 more to go. You can do it. Nice. Of course, there's always something else though. More of these rods. I'm sure this stainless steel is gonna go by a lot quicker than I thought with all the time I spent working towards it. Cool, that's our 2 robot arms, and then I think that should be everything, right? It is. That's awesome. The advanced assembling machine. Thing is though, is we don't have any proper wiring or anything to actually hook this up, so that is something I am going to need to set up as well. So I think what we're going to need for that is an HV-CEF, which again, very similar to the other types of CEFs, and I don't think there's a quest for this. Doesn't look like it, unless it's attached to the battery quest somehow, but it doesn't look like that is blocking anything. So I'm not super worried about making the battery properly. So let me just try and make an HV-CEF here. So that's just going to need another machine hole, which is going to be a casing. And I actually haven't made the recipe for the hole yet because we're out of space in our molecular assembler. Okay, HV machine hole. Should have everything for that. And then the actual CEF, you need some 4x vibrant alloy wires and then some vibrant alloy energy conduits. Do we have any of those? We have just enough. Awesome. I'm going to make a decent amount of these wires. And then besides that, we'll need another tier 3 circuit and a chest. So let's make 1 more of these. Cool. Glad that we have everything. And I'm sure we are. I had like a ton of refined circuits, and I'm sure that is pretty much all gone. Is it all gone? Oh man, it really is all gone. Okay, I'll have to make more to stock up. I guess the processor mainframe itself takes probably what, like 32 refined circuits or something like that. It's kind of crazy. Cool, we are getting our refined processor array, and then yeah, I think that should be everything. I just have to make some of these 4x vibrant alloys. And then we're also going to need to make some of the wires. So that is going to be some more rubber as well. Kind of doing it the same way we made the gold cables, which I think are still in here. And what, I think that's 26 to make the 4x. Yes, configuration 26. See how it gets pretty nice to actually get these automation, because I feel like if we don't set up the infrastructure to automate all this stuff, we spend the majority of our time like running back and forth being like, oh wait, I just need this. I forgot about this, which can get kind of old after a while. But this should be good to get us at least a bit of the 4x vibrant alloy cable. So this is the lossless cable for HV. So it's what I'm going to be wanting to use to hook up all of our stuff. Cool. And then for the actual CEF, I'm gonna hope, yep, that tier 3 circuit finished making. And I think that should be everything we need. Is there any kind of power line going on over here? That is ME conduits. Where else could I put this? This is going to be like our automation room, so I'm also out of end steel conduits, it looks like. Let me take a sec, make some more stuff, and then wire some things up, and we can set things up. Okay, cooked up a bunch more end steel conduits. And we should be good to wire this baby up. So I guess I'll have it pop out like right here. That seems like a good place. What's down there? Wait, was that wire all along? No, it wasn't. Okay, phew. Ah, you give me this. Okay, now we're gonna have this pop out, and then we'll have our CEF like right here. Sure, it's temporary. I can always move it. And then I'll throw some wire down here, and then we should be able to pop down our advanced assembling machine. Hopefully nothing explodes. Looks like we're good. And I can fill in this wiring. I'm really glad I went with making the two different, or the two layers of cobblestone underneath my floor. It just makes life so much easier for wiring things up, and things just feel clean, you know? Awesome. And yeah, these connected textures, oof, amazing. Okay, cool. So we have our advanced assembling machine, but I guess that didn't lead to anything. I'm kind of surprised about that. I'm wondering, I think maybe like if we do these carbon fibers, that might end up hooking up this HV assembler, because we're going to need to get to the next tier of circuits and everything eventually. So I guess we can try to go ahead and make palladium. Is that just made with the palladium dust? Let's see if it talks about it in the... Okay, an element paired exclusively with platinum. If you haven't found a vein of platinum yet, which we have automatic platinum from Deep Mob Learning actually, we can buy it. So it's smelted in the blast furnace, and it takes a while. So palladium. I can also get rid of some of this stuff. A palladium ingot from palladium dust. Palladium ore, which I don't think we have found yet. Sheldonite? I feel like it's not coming from that. Maybe we have to use the... Can we get it from like the tiny... I don't really see where platinum comes in to play. Huh. Let me dig around with this for a bit. Well, I'm an idiot. I just spent like 10 minutes poking around JEI just to realize that it says it's paired exclusively with platinum. So I thought that meant it came from platinum, but then it goes on to say, if you haven't found a vein of platinum, you'll need to buy palladium. So it's just something you can mine, I guess. But since I'm getting my platinum from Deep Mob Learning, I actually have not found any legitimate platinum ore yet. So we can just go ahead and buy some. Which is really not too bad. And then this is something we're going to want to macerate down. But before I want to do this, I actually want to use an HV macerator. And the reason for that is because you see how it says 14% chance of this secondary output. As you get higher and higher like macerator types, I believe this percentage chance goes up. So with MV, we get the 14% chance, but with HV, it's something higher. I don't know the exact number, but it's something that is a good deal better. So I think I have everything I need. I already made some of the stuff. Oh, I just need to make a couple of the tier 3 circuits, which I guess it's working on right now. Oh, I thought that would be ready by the time I finished. Okay, should be good now. Get our universal macerator, and we can throw that down. And the nice thing about this is, well, the higher percentage chance, like I was selling before, and then we also get the 3 slots. So, I mean, the 3rd slot, at least for what we're doing, is just going to be stone dust or something. It's not that exciting. But you know what? Hey, but look at that. On our first try, we got palladium dust. So yeah, it seems like it's a bit more frequent than 14% with my massive sample size of 1. But yeah, so then we can just throw that into a blast furnace, and we do have the temperature to do this and everything. Only takes 30 seconds. That's really not too bad. Once this stainless steel finishes up. Cool, and then we'll get a piece of palladium, and then I'm not really sure. I guess we're going to be using that to make carbon fibers, so we'll see where that leads us. I think I'm also going to finish up soon. I'm curious to see where this quest line goes, and then we can probably take a break and finish off where we were going to on our next episode. But we're almost there for now. But still, I feel like this episode was still pretty good progress. We made our first HV things, our assembling machine, which is arguably the most important machine in every single tier. And I guess we met our macerator as well, which is good to have. We're well on our way to more as well. So, palladium. Oh, you know what I also want to do? Before I forget. I want to save one in case I ever go mining for this. We already have platinum, but it might be good to look for the specific one. Yeah, cool. Palladium, that's a new metal that we have just discovered. We get nickels for that as well. Okay, this is going to go to HV chemical reactor. Okay, I see where it's going. Yeah, so this is going to get us 288 raw carbon fibers, although the chance is 85%, so maybe not quite that much. But it looks like we're going to need to make at least an advanced autoclave to use this. Yeah, so we have a few things ahead of us going forward, but I am going to wrap it up here. I like that we're back into the quest book and moving forward and making new items and figuring out how things work together. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.